Good evening, welcome to another exciting edition of So Into Bourbon.
And this time he means it.
Really excited tonight because tonight, Charlie, what do we have?
Jack Daniels 12 year.
Can't wait. All right, Jack Daniels 12 year. Just released in March of this year. Batch 1. It's the first time they've ever released this product. Yes, ever since I heard that this existed and I've seen some other people talk about it, I've been like, ooh, I have to have that.
And the reason that we were so excited about it is if you go back in our library, we've done 2 previous episodes about Jack Daniels. We did the Jack Daniels Bonded, the Jack Daniels Triple Mash, and the Jack Daniels longest name in the world that I can never remember, which is called Twice Barreled Special Release American Single Malt.
Aged in Oloroso Sherry Cask.
Aged in Oloroso Sherry Cask, finished, whatever. So we loved all 3 of those. And when we heard about the 10 year and the 12 year, it's like, okay, let's keep going. So Jack Daniels is doing some really awesome things. Genuinely excited for this one.
Yeah, so the longest time, Jack Daniels didn't really venture away from
Jack Daniels.
old number 7,
Yeah.
you know.
Yep.
But in 2021, I believe they released the 10 year for the first time, the Batch 1.
That sounds right.
Which got rave reviews. They've released a second batch of the 10 year that, from what I understand, doesn't quite stand up to the first batch from what I hear. I don't know, I haven't tried it.
Send us a bottle, we'll tell you.
Yeah, send us a bottle. And so this 12 year has been very highly touted.
Yeah.
And I just happened to be in the Meijer grocery store the other day. I was in the day before and was checking out the whiskey aisle because every now and then you find a little nugget there at Meijer. So I thought, well, I'll swing through again. Walk down the main aisle, nothing. There's a little end cap that every now and then.
The whiskey end cap.
Yeah. So I'm walking towards the end cap, and the guy almost runs into me, walks up in front of me, and sets this bad boy right on the shelf. And I almost hugged the guy. I really did.
That would have been awkward.
I love you.
I love you, man.
I said, I've been looking for this everywhere, and as I'm saying it, he sets another one down. So of course, grab them both.
I've got that one.
Yeah.
So
I've been really excited.
Yeah, super excited. Jack Daniels 12 year is just that. It's your traditional Jack Daniels, same mash bill, same Lincoln County process. Mash bill is Jack Daniels' very unique 80% corn, 12% malted barley, and 8% rye. So they invert. Typically it's a higher rye and lower malted barley. Jack Daniels inverts those. So in front of us we have the original Jack Daniels is in our little short bottles, and the considerable darker is in the Glencairn. You'll also notice the very small bottle of Jack Daniels that I've purchased.
Yeah, Charlie, I don't know why you do that. It just doesn't look right. You shouldn't do that.
I know, but I did. And it's a viewer recently said that it looks trashy, and that if we can't afford big bottles, we should quit doing what we're doing. So I bought a 100 milliliter bottle because I didn't want to buy a 50 or a 375, and I think it's adorable. Plus it's cheap. And last thing I'm going to say about this, these small format bottles are a great way for you at home to try bottles without a big commitment of having, number 1, come out of pocket, and number 2, just having a whiskey around that you're never going to drink.
Right. Like, without breaking the bank. And especially for what we do, you know, but I hate to break it to you, but we don't have people sending us whiskeys and bourbons to try. Everything that we try, it comes out of our pocket for the most part.
Yes, it does. Thank you for putting that on camera for my wife to see.
I mean, it comes out of my pocket.
Yeah. Your wife doesn't watch. Your wife doesn't watch, so we're good.
Every now and then. Okay, Charlie, let's get
to it. So first is standard old number 7, the tried and true.
Yep. It's old number 7. It smells like it.
Smells like old number 7. Only Jack Daniels smells like that. And when you're young and you're like, oh, that smells like Jack Daniels. Now, a little older, you kind of know why. It's that malted barley influence. We're not going to explain what Jack Daniels smells like.
We're not going to get into detail.
Know what that tastes like?
Jack Daniels.
Jack Daniels. Yeah, it's cornier than I remember.
It is.
80 proof, by the way.
And you know what? It's been, I feel like I say this almost every episode.
A long time. Yeah.
It's been a long time since I've just drank good old,
Plain old
Jack
Jack
number
Daniels.
7.
Yeah.
Unless it was, out somewhere and you mix it.
In a Coke or something.
Yeah. But you know what? I can see why it's the number one selling whiskey in the world. It's easy to drink.
It's 80 proof.
Yeah.
It's flavorful for 80 proof.
Sweet.
Yep, sweet and corny and a little bit of flavor. It's not overly complex. It's nothing that you're going to be like, oh, it's the best thing in the world. You get the job done.
All right, so let's not spend too much time on it. We've got the baseline here.
Yeah.
Let's
woke our palate up a little bit. So excited. Instantly, first impressions, considerably darker.
Oh yeah, and you can see
a couple of shades darker. And the only difference between this and standard Jack Daniels is the age and the proof. So this is 107 proof, and obviously it's 12 years old. Wow.
it's pretty viscous.
Yeah.
That really, that smells delicious. It's almost like it smells thick. Does that make sense? Almost like
It is very aromatic. It almost like smoky. I get a lot of smoke, and maybe it's your mind plays tricks with your nose and with your palate when you know something. Obviously Jack Daniels, it's not bourbon. It says on Jack Daniels' website, goes through the Lincoln County process, which is filtering through 10 feet of densely packed charcoal. But man, that gives a real,
it really does.
real kind of that smoky, burnt campfire and sugar, like a s'more.
But it's got a really sweet, like a dark sweetness to it, like a dark fruit or
very
almost
unique,
maybe
very
like
unique nose.
syrup or molasses.
Yeah,
almost.
that's a good one. Molasses, yeah. All right, enough.
Cheers.
Let's do this.
That's really good.
Man.
That's such a stark contrast between the old number 7.
It is
obviously
bold. I mean, just it's sweet and spicy. There's a kind of a spiciness there which you wouldn't expect from a lower rye. But I get some spiciness on my tongue, but it's just enough. Like it kind of coats your tongue with a little spice.
To me, it's a very dull spice. Like
Yeah.
it's not hot at all.
No, it's just
not,
there.
Yeah.
Like it just that spice, that tingle kind of lingers, almost like kind of a pepperiness. But it's just, the nose is insane.
Now going back to the nose after I've tasted it, I'm getting some cherries.
Yeah.
And the finish to me was kind of a really like a dark cherry finish.
It is not what I expected. I expected like an oakier, but it's not oakier. It doesn't have that dry kind of, a lot of people don't like older whiskeys or hyper-aged whiskeys because it has that dry kind of tannic finish.
Yeah.
It kind of dries your mouth out and it's very oaky. This doesn't have that. And 12 years old, especially in today's market, you're in some rarefied air there.
Yeah, that's there's a little bit of dryness on the finish, which you would expect, but it's not an unpleasant dryness at all. But I'm like you said, I'm surprised of the lack of the tannic oakiness there for a 12-year, and I'm saying that as a good thing, not a bad thing.
It is not as sweet as I thought it would be.
No,
it is very bold and flavorful. It's a strong whiskey. It's and I hesitate to say this because people are going to hear this and they're going to hear it
as a negative thing, but it's not meant to be. So it almost has the mouthfeel of a cough syrup, like a thick cough syrup. When I drink it, it's thick.
It's got some viscosity. I didn't get a ton of that, like where I really noticed the mouthfeel. I mean, it's definitely, compared to the 80 proof, yeah, it's still, and while you were talking, I'm just gonna sit here and wait for how long that takes to kind of leave my palate. It just sits. Like it just sits on your tongue, and it's very, it's a really good, really unique,
really good whiskey.
Yeah. I mean, just
really good.
Like classic, like proof just right. You know, you get a little Tennessee hug. You get a little Tennessee hug. It's not, you know, overproofed. It's not underproofed. It's very flavorful. I'm really anxious to see how this one opens up with the little air, to see if some more of those kind of fruit flavors from the nose that are there. That's a really nice. I really like that.
Yeah. And I'm getting more fruit. The more as it sits more, and then as I've kind of gone back into it.
Yeah, the nose really changes as
but
it
it's all
sits.
like dark fruit.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Plum or.
Yeah, you may have hit the nail on the head with the like kind of the dark cherries.
It's fantastic. I love it.
Yeah.
I wish I had more bottles, because that's going to be one that I'm going to pull out when I really want something nice. And it's just an easy drink, especially for 107 proof.
Yeah. I mean, that's, so the question is always, is it worth it, right? If you're lucky enough to find one, there's 18,000-ish bottles in existence, which means that's 360 per state. So it's pretty hard to find, but if you find one,
buy it.
Yeah.
So retail on this is $80. Now, I got lucky, found 2 bottles at Meyer. I paid $88.99 for them, and to me, all day long.
All day long, twice on Sunday.
To find any 12-year-old bourbon or whiskey for that price these days is almost impossible anyway.
Yeah, I mean,
but for this, I've paid a lot more for whiskeys that aren't near as good as
well, I'll tell you, and people are like, oh, nothing's worth $90, nothing worth this, that, or the other. Beastmasters recently did a release. It's a 6-year age-stated MGP, high rye, really high rye, 60% corn, 36% rye, 4% malted barley, which is definitely in my wheelhouse if you've watched any of our episodes. After shipping and everything, it was $75 for a 6-year single barrel MGP. So $75 for a 6-year single barrel MGP, which is great. I really enjoy it. Or $90 for this.
Yeah, for a product that, once again, somewhere around 18,000 bottles total.
Well, if we want to play that game, there's 150 bottles of the single barrel.
True.
But this is what's fun about bourbon. Whiskey.
The more I go back to this, the more that cherry.
Yeah.
And you know, that's my
Cherry-cola.
love affair, that cherry
Cola.
cola. All right, Charlie, let's rate it.
Okay.
You go first. Because you always claim that I steal your
You always do.
number.
You know, I feel like a broken record, but you know, I'm going to give it a solid 8.5, 8.75. It is everything that you would expect from a brand like Jack Daniels, given their history, given their recent history with the products they've been putting out. At this price point, with these statistics of 12 years old, 107 proof, the limited availability of it, it's a solid 8.5, 8.75. And just the drinkability and what it is, it's a great bottle.
All right. Well, Charlie, I'm gonna go a little bit higher. I'm gonna give this, and I don't know that we've ever rated something this high. I'm gonna give it a 9.5. I think it's about as close to a, dare I say the word, perfect whiskey that you're gonna find at this price.
I don't disagree with you.
And it's not one that's just gonna, just provoke superlatives.
You're
everywhere.
not going to achieve enlightenment.
It's really good.
It's really good. And there is a shortage of, not a shortage, that's not the right word. There's a shortage of really just great bottles for under $100. Let's put it that way. Like there's a lot of mystery bourbons just floating out there that are $89.99 that you don't know anything about them. It's a resurrected brand and it's from some place that God knows where. This is from Jack Daniels in Lynchburg, who's been doing it for quite a while.
They could easily put a $150 price tag on
They
this.
could have put this in a tin or a box or made the bottle prettier and made it $300, and idiots like us would still pay for it. So kudos to them. I mean, our last Jack Daniels episode was called Jack Daniels is Here to Save Us, or something along those lines. And they are. If you haven't, go back and watch our episodes and pick up the triple mash, pick up the bonded. The special release is gone, so good luck with that. But great stuff coming out of Lynchburg.
I've heard great things about the Coy Hill.
Ugh.
I
Yeah.
know nothing about it. Have you tried it?
No.
Okay.
But I want to.
I mean, it's what? 100 and it's hazmat, right? Or
I think
close
so.
to it?
And
Yeah.
secondaries for hundreds and hundreds.
I'd love
and hundreds
to. I would
of
love to
dollars.
get my hands on that too.
Yeah.
But they're doing some great things. I don't want to harp on how wonderful Jack Daniels is.
But the reason
any
we
longer, but it's just you got to call it like it is.
The reason we bring it up and the whole purpose of our channel is we want to taste things that you normally wouldn't get. And there are a lot of people that maybe you saw this in a store and you're like, ugh, Jack Daniels. Yeah, Jack Daniels. Yeah. Like go back and visit. Get a little mini of Jack Daniels. Spend the 30 or 40 bucks and buy the bonded. And tell me you don't like that, because that's a great bottle of bourbon too.
It's a great bottle. That
35 bucks.
Was Whiskey of the Year last year, I believe, by certain
whiskey
publications.
Whiskey Advocate. So,
all right, Charlie. I think we've said just about everything we can about this.
Jack Daniels.
Unless you have something.
I got nothing except for make sure to like and subscribe. Follow Glenn on TikTok at
Whiskey Realtor, and we want to give away this hat.
We are going to give away this hat, and I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do, and he doesn't know I'm going to do this. We're giving away this hat. I'm going to tell you right now. It is, what's today?
Today is May the
19th.
19th.
On July 4th, we're giving away that hat.
Oh.
That's when we're giving it away.
Okay.
You don't have to email. Don't send us any more emails. If you want to, you can. It's sointobourbon@gmail.com. Don't send us any more emails. Like and subscribe, and we're going to pick one of our subscribers and send them the hat. What else is in the box with the hat?
Well, there's going to be some other whiskey swag.
Lots of good stuff.
Who knows? Who knows what else?
Who knows? Maybe an autographed picture of Glenn from Glamour Shots.
Maybe that picture you sent me earlier. Maybe I'll have you autograph that.
Don't talk about that. July 4th. That's when we're giving it away. That's when we're doing our drawing. God bless America. You're going to win a hat and a bunch of other stuff. So make sure to like and subscribe.
And as always,
keep your glasses full
and your bone holes tight.
Good night, everyone.
They're going to send us a plaque for most videos posted with the
least amount of views. Yeah, that's probably. Now that's an achievement. So into bourbon. Congratulations.
Come look at this and tell me if you think it's level.
Why are we? You've got one shoe on. You're only wearing one shoe. The bubble.
You've got to worry about the bubble, mate.
Have you not watched Rick and Morty about level?
No.
The bubble. That's your scientific proof.
I do not.
That's your precision. The bubble.
Yeah, Jake Daniels. Got some water. Needs cleanse the palate.
Good idea. Do you know why they call it?